Hey guys, it's Goosebumps Completionist, and today I'm bringing you my very first ever Goosebumps story versus episode. Now, I've done book versus episode with full books, but there are some episodes in the TV show that have short story adaptations. And the first one I'm going to do is Awesome Ants. So, Awesome Ants is a book inside of the Still More Tales to Give You Goosebumps book, special edition number 4 from the Tales to Give You Goosebumps series. And the episode right here is included on this 3-episode set from the Headless Ghost collection, as you can see on the back. Awesome Ants is there. Now, on the Tales, I don't really give individual ratings. I have to go back on my memory. I said it was one of my least favorite stories in the collection, but I love this collection overall. It was a very high-scoring collection. It depends on my mood, how I feel about the short story. On some days, I could probably give it like a 3.5, and some days I can give it a 4. So where I'm going to settle with this, I'm probably going to give this a 3.7. I think that's pretty fair for the short story. It's a very good one, especially for the series overall that I've read so far. It's pretty good, very entertaining, very fun. And it does differ from the episode, which I just gave a 4 out of 5. So there's a lot of things that I want to compare here. Not much compared to some of the other episodes I've done in the past, but this one actually might be kind of a runaway for one particular one. You can probably see which one I'm going to go, but just hear me out. So, in book versus episodes, I usually do, characters. I compare them. I compare the plot progression, the atmosphere, all of that, the climax, and the ending. Just run-of-the-mill stuff. Which ones do I prefer? So we're going to start off with characters like we usually do. There's really only a few characters you need to care about. The main ones being Dave and Ben. So we're going to start with Dave, the main character. I think Dave was good in the short story. He was more of the focal point. It felt more concentrated there. But the episode does highlight Dave pretty well and introduces Dave into some newer situations that I found more entertaining with Dave. This is a short story character, mind you. It's not like a fleshed out book or anything. So when it comes to Dave, I'm going to give the edge to the episode. Dave in the episode was really, really good. And the actor who played Dave, I remember seeing him as in an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark or something. Like the Banaha episode or something. I swear he was in that episode. And he might be in another Goosebumps episode. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, Dave gets the edge there. Ben essentially serves the same purpose. There's a little added note at the very end with Ben in the episode that kind of just sticks out in my head with Ben. So with Ben, I also give the edge to the episode. I think Ben was very well done for his purpose, at least. And then we have the teacher, Mr. Lurtz, I think that's his name. Yeah, it's no surprise. I'm going to give the edge to the episode here. Mr. Lurtz, I don't want to spoil the twist at the end, but Mr. Lurtz may or may not be multiple characters in this episode. Yeah, hands down, Mr. Lurtz goes to here. And then we have the villains, the ants. Now, the stories differ here. As in the short story, the ants try to trap the science class. That's kind of the point. And in the episode, it might be more of a Twilight Zone type of twist where the ants are just watching society itself. You got to try them both. But the way the ants were portrayed in the short story wasn't as effective as I think Shusterman wrote it and the director directed it in the episode. So I'm going to give the edge to the ants, also to the episode. I mean, the characters 4 for 4. I mean, all go to the episode. Very well done. So let's get into the plot itself. The plot. Essentially, this is the same story, more or less added scenes in the episode and tweaking the ending. So the added stuff in the episode is obviously the ice cream bit in the beginning. That was added on. And then another thing that was added was the twist that was different. And there's also added scenes where, Dave goes to the exterminator. The exterminator is really not all that prevalent. I don't even think is prevalent in the short story at all. And the setup feels a lot more weirder in a more enjoyable way. So for the overall plot, I'm going to give the edge to the episode. I mean, it just beats the short story. I mean, yeah. Let's get into the atmosphere. Now, the atmosphere, I'm also going to give to the episode here. The atmosphere is really good in the short story for what it is. It's a small, intimate setting. But the way it was shot in the episode was just really well done. Don McCutcheon, is that how you say his name? Really nailed that atmosphere. Really impressed me on that. So, atmosphere, episode. Then we have the climax. Now, the climax is a bit different. I really like the climax in the short story. I just want to put that out there. I really like the climax. But the climax in the episode is very memorable because it stands out like a theme park ride or attraction. And those ants are just so well done, and it really really helps to sell the experience. So I'm going to give the edge to the episode again. Awesome Ants. Really is knocking it out of the park on the episode. And then we have the twist, the conclusion, the final ending. Now, this is where I'm kind of mixed because I really like the ending to the short story. It kind of brings it back to the whole science project element that was going on in the story. And it's very fitting. And I really like the dynamic that Dave and Mr. Lurtz were excited for this experience. As in the episode, it's more of like a coup d'etat, like throw the rug from under you twist where reality's in question. It's kind of similar in vein to Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Very close in vein to that. What is real, what isn't real? I mean, the ending to the episode kind of states that this is the real reality, and it brings a new thought to the story than the short story in the book didn't do. But if I had a preference, and this might shock a couple people, I might tie them here. I think they're pretty deadlocked. I think they both really end the stories well for what they were doing in their own regards. The short story definitely had its own plot going. It didn't have that ice cream parlor bit. It didn't have the exterminator really at all, or if not at all. I can't remember, but I don't think he was in it. And the twist at the end brought it back, right? It was very effective. Same thing here. I mean, it works very well. It's still trying to do its own thing. So for that, it's creating essentially its own version of the story. So that's why I'm gonna put them deadlocked. I just don't see how one is clearly better than the other. If I had to say which one is more memorable, off the top of my head, I would say the episode. But thinking back on the short story's ending is really good too. So when it comes to which one do I think is superior, Awesome Ants, is the short story better or is it the episode? You might have seen this coming, or if you haven't been watching, it's a runaway here. I think the episode is superior here. Awesome Ants, the episode. It's so good. It's so good. It would be higher on my all-time ranking if it had had a more serious tone and wasn't so comical. And I know that's kind of hard to say because there seems to be two types of people in the episode, in Goosebumps community in general. People who like the sillier episodes, like if you like Night of the Living Dummy episodes, if those are your favorites, you're probably going to really love this. Or like Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes or something. But if your favorite episode is like Welcome to Dead House or The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, you're going to like the darker ones. You're going to probably like Cry of the Cat. You're probably going to like, any of the other ones, like Welcome to Camp Nightmare. The ones with more seriousness to them. This one's just a fun time. It's just a fun time either way you go. This is a book franchise, remember. I do think that the episode's better, but you should definitely read the short story and then watch the episode. I think you'll really appreciate both on this. They're really solid. Can't complain either way. Yeah, both really good. This one's very good. This one's about good, leaning very good. So, yeah, try this. So this is my story versus episode review for Awesome Ants. Let me know down in the comment section which one did you prefer. Did you prefer the short story or the episode? I'm dying to know. And I'll see you next time.